Hey, do you ever look at your closet and think you have nothing to wear? Or is it just me? It's not just me, right? This is why I can't believe I didn't discover Armoire clothing rentals earlier. With an Armoire membership, I can now build the perfect wardrobe with high-quality brands that I wouldn't normally think I could afford, such as Philip Lim, Monique Lhuillier, and Marni. Doesn't it just sound fancy? To get started, all you have to do is take a 5-minute style quiz and select items from your dynamic, personalized closet. The styles show up at your door in as little as 2 days. And then when you're ready for new clothes, boom, swap them out for more new-to-you styles. I recently rented a pale lime green leather blazer from Alice and Olivia. You may have seen it on our Instagram stories. I am obsessed. It's so perfect if you're like me who doesn't want to spend all that time putting together a look, but also loves looking stylish. Right now, our listeners can give Armoire a try and get up to 50% off their first month. That's up to $125 off. Just visit armoire.style/dateable. That is armoire.style. That's spelled ARMOIRE.style/DATEABLE to get up to 50% off your first month and never worry about what to wear again. Try Armoire today. Hi there. Welcome to a Quickie with me. I am going to talk about something probably a little bit heavy, so just be prepared. But this is also very positive, I think. This week will be the 1-year anniversary of my last relationship ending due to infidelity. So, in other words, exactly a year ago, I found out that my partner of almost 5 years had been cheating on me. And it was not easy to receive the news, to figure out next steps. But I will say that in the last year, I sat down recently and just thought about everything I learned in the last year and how I came out of it. And I know that some of you have been along for the journey, some of you haven't. But if you are going through some sort of heartbreak, just know that you're not alone. That's probably the most important thing to understand. You're not alone. And also that everything is temporary and things do get better. It almost feels like it happens overnight, that one day you do wake up and you feel like, I am on a good path now. And so I wanted to just break down what I learned in the last year of how I got to feeling that like light at the end of the tunnel, like things are better, a clear path to healing. But this is not to discount any of the hurt that you feel. I was absolutely devastated. My world shattered. And I can't even express the type of hurt when someone you love and trust can do something so hurtful to you and think that it's okay. I think that's the part that got me, was how could someone be capable of doing this? Someone I thought I knew so well. So sorry for getting emotional because I had to listen to this episode. We did this episode last year where Julie interviewed me about what happened. And I had to listen to the episode like 10 times because I am so proud of myself for how I handled it, how I was able to process it. So this is more of I'm not asking for y'all to feel sorry for me. This is more of an anthem of the fact that you are the person in charge of your life. Nobody else can take away that control from you. Just remember that. So I think first and foremost, I'm proud of myself for giving myself the permission and space to be sad and mad. And I didn't fill that time with distractions like I would have normally done. There are days I woke up and said, I am going to give myself today to feel the anger that I feel. But I also time boxed it. I said, I'm giving myself today. Tomorrow, I'm going to make some incremental progress. And every time I made that incremental progress, like that 1% better, I would celebrate myself. I still remember the day I woke up not feeling angry. Wow, what a feeling to wake up without the heaviness and of that reminder of what happened to me. And I remember just feeling like so proud of myself for getting to that point. And I bought myself a pair of really expensive sandals that I had been eyeing for a long time. And that was a celebration for myself because I truly deserved it. I also brought myself to do something scary. This was something that a lot of infidelity experts would say is do something scary for yourself so that you know you have the power and the capacity to do something so scary and get over to the other side of fear. So I did two things that were scary. One is actually a fun scary. I started taking tennis lessons, and the very first tennis lesson I took was in a group setting. And this just terrifies me to go into a group setting while not excelling at something and then having everybody judge me, or that's what's in my mind. But I went for it. And if you know me, you know I'm obsessed with tennis now. And I am so not afraid of a group setting in tennis lessons. In fact, I welcome any sort of embarrassment or opportunity to do something wrong because then I can learn from it. So that's the fun, scary thing I did. The second scary thing I did was I did embrace reaching out to the other woman. Reminder of what happened. He had cheated on me with two women that I knew of. And one of them I was able to find on Instagram. And I reached out to her and she wanted to get on the call with me right away. And this was fucking scary to get on the phone with this woman who was telling me the other side of what happened during a time when I thought we were moving in a direction that was headed towards marriage and starting a family. If you remember, I was actually in the middle of helping him move. And here he was with her. You know, he met her in Miami. He wined and dined her and he tried to sleep with her. I mean, just hearing that was probably the most terrifying hour of my life last year. But I'm proud of myself for doing that. And I'm so proud of us for leaning into this because we brought her on for a special episode called The Other Woman. If you haven't listened to it yet, it's entertaining as hell. And also just shows you the side of infidelity that nobody ever talks about, which is the other person, the other woman. She had also been blindsided and swindled in this whole experience. I also learned that the important thing of all of these setbacks and heartbreaks is asking the question, what does it unlock for me? What does that unlock? And I think this experience unlocked so much for me. One is I know what it feels like to try my best in a relationship. I had never done that before. I had never put myself out there in a way of trying to make something work so much. And I did the best I could. So I know I have the capability of doing that again. I know that I have the capacity to grow old with someone. This was a very realistic view of what a future could look like with someone. Before, I had always been in relationships where growing old with someone was just so far beyond reality. I mean, it was just like kind of romanticized. But this was such a real relationship that I knew I unlocked this reality within me, that I am capable of envisioning that with somebody. I unlocked the fact that I know how to love myself first and foremost, and I will continue to love myself because, you know, you're only responsible for one person in this world, and that's you. That's your priority. You are your priority. And I'm going to make sure that I take care of me, the human that I am responsible for. I also learned that you are what you tolerate. When I found the news, when I found out about the infidelity, I knew right then I'm not willing to tolerate that. So whatever you don't tolerate, you don't invite into your life. But also looking back on that relationship, there were moments where I look at myself now and say, I would never tolerate that again. I would never be able to tolerate that again. And I shouldn't. I shouldn't have to. I've learned to really pick my friends well because when you're going through heartbreak and healing, who's in your year is so important. And I still remember that the first month when the news broke among my friend circle, and I had a girlfriend say, you know, have you asked him why? Because sometimes women drive men to cheat. And oh man, I really could have gone two ways. One way is I could have said, yeah, you're right. I probably did something really wrong in that relationship. And I drove him to the arms of another woman. But no, I decided that's not what I would tolerate. That's not my belief system. And she's also not a friend I want in my year during this healing process. As tough as it was, I also was able to filter out some friends who were toxic for my healing. And just this last word about healing before I wrap this up is I now truly understand healing is not linear. And also, you're on your own timeline. I know some of you have reached out and asked me, how did you get over this so fast? To me, it wasn't fast. I really thought like I did have to take it one day at a time. But I do remember that one moment in Greece when I woke up and I looked out to this beautiful sunrise and I said, I really wish him the best. And that's when I knew my healing had overcome that major hump. And I was really on a clear path to a much better place. It was also a moment where I thought, well, like if everybody's in a relationship that's right for them, that's good for them, that brings out the best for them, wouldn't this world be such a better place? And we wouldn't have war. We wouldn't have all this crap that's going on. You know, who am I to stop anybody from being in the right relationship that brings out the best in them? Not to excuse the shitty things that he did, but end of the day, I want the relationship that brings out the best in me, and I'm on that path. And that's all I can really focus on or have control over is my path to the right relationship. So if you're going through heartbreak, you're going through something really hard right now, understand you're on your own timeline. And I know for certain you're going to wake up one day and look back and say, I did all that. I made all that progress. You might not be able to feel it in the moment. And there's days, trust me, I know when you feel like you've gone backwards. And I still can't believe, even at the beginning of this, I got emotional because I thought I was over it, quote unquote. But healing is not linear. And all of these experiences stick with us. You know, they create a mark within us. But it doesn't mean that it needs to hold us down. It doesn't mean that it needs to hinder us. It just means it is part of us. It makes us who we are today. And who I am today, I'm fucking proud. And I'm in a much better place. I'm in a much better relationship and a much better headspace. I can't believe it's been a year, but thank you all for your support. I want to thank my true friends and my wonderful parents for just unconditionally loving me through all of this. But most importantly, I am so grateful for myself for sticking by me, believing in me, and loving myself the way I have in the last year. And I hope that you all see that you deserve that kind of love for yourself as well. Okay, sorry for the heavy topic, but feels good. Feels good to summarize this last year. Okay, see you soon.